we got audio? Can we? Good now. Thank you. Okay, so the gear that I was just showing is from Katso. And that was a piece for my gauntlet, my upcoming gauntlet, and also for my rangefinder. I'm going to be putting those out here pretty soon for other people to get, just the two pieces, so you can add them to your helmet. If you've already got one of my rangefinders, you can switch it out for a few bucks. But the electronics maker that I really want to showcase right now is from Mandalorian. Mandalorian, this thing is like the coolest thing I have ever seen. Okay? Bro, this thing is almost exactly the right size to fit into the rangefinder viewer, but it's going to look so sick on my gauntlet. I am just, there are no words. All I can say is, and pardon my French, c'est incredible. It's amazing. I am so stoked with this, and it says HK7335 in Arabesh. Check it out if you can see it. I am totally stoked with this. This is amazing, and I definitely would love to talk to you in the future via DM or other means about some other potential projects. So I'm really glad that that we found you. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do in the future. All right, so now that doing our shout outs. Hey, Lightning Man 59, welcome in. Kinky Masabi, Brian Me Too, Averlander, Tyson 2 Hook, Lucas Torrey, CCR 978, Pablo S. Bra. Welcome in, guys. If I haven't gotten you, just give me a say hello again, and I'll make sure I mention you. Garces 311.
He sent us the Camtona.
Oh, Nitrix there sent us the Camtona.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and thank you very much for that. We're going to be doing a paint job on that here in the very near future. The thing is awesome.
He has an ACE too.
So, all right, you have an ACE, and I'm hoping you're loving it.
And so. Hopefully King's gonna get your new gauntlets.
Yes, the gauntlets are very, very close to releasing. Ironically enough, everybody's doing modular gauntlets right now. I've actually been working on mine for a year, but I'm like the mechanic, it's like I'm working on everybody else's stuff, and my car's sitting out on the front lawn on blocks, and the engine's in the backyard. So, I am working on having more time now. I actually have more time now to do development, and there is going to be a lot of stuff coming like within the next 2 weeks. So yeah, you're going to be seeing some really cool stuff from me in the very near future. So anyway, the subject of this live stream is about custom supports. A lot of people have asked me about custom supports and how I do them. I'm not going to get into details on this. I'm planning on doing a short tutorial video that I'm going to put up for, a couple of bucks. But it'll be about a half an hour long, and it'll go into doing custom supports for a variety of different models in Blender. I don't use Fusion 360, so but the concept is the same. So I'm going to go through this real quick. Let's see if we've got some questions here. You got a shield from the Galactic Star Cruiser, so we went. Oh, sweet, awesome, nice. Yes, I can hardly wait to see the rangefinder too. And in fact, I'm hoping that maybe Mandalorian might want to build a Winky Blinky for my pilot rangefinder, because that has triangular holes. Now, I know there's no triangular LEDs, but I have a clear piece that fits inside, so they just need to be backlit. But I want them to be blue. So anyway, we might be able to talk about that in the future. But anyway, lots of cool things in the works, and stay tuned. But in the meantime, let's get into the custom supports. AlanCast69, welcome in. And hey, Giuseppe, welcome in. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I appreciate it. Big Salvix, welcome in. And the Mandalorians, welcome in. Glad you guys could make it. So here we go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import a model. And I'm going to import one of my new Mythosaur hand plates. And one of the things you may notice when it comes in is that it is the STL file. So you might be saying, why are you using the STL file? Why don't you use your native Blender file? Well, that's a great question, and I will be getting into that in detail in my tutorial video, but for now, I'm going to just go ahead and start messing with this thing. Let's see, let's go to the side here, and we want to rotate it. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of get it into a position that I want to print it in. And I'm going to put it up above the baseline here because we're going to need some space for the supports to go. Commander Thom66, welcome in. Mr. NRG, welcome in. Dinglish Toy Photography, welcome in. And the Brodalorian, welcome in. And Sapphire, welcome in. William Mitchell, welcome in. Crazy Dave 67, welcome in. Extreme 4x4 Dude, welcome in. Thank you guys for joining. Glad you could be here. Oh, I'm used to Kira. This is not a slicer. This is a 3D modeling program. This is Blender. This is what I use. Blender is free. It is amazing, and you can do pretty much anything you want to in it, including visual effects. So it has an editor, has a compositor, it has character animation tools, and now it has a native exporter to Unreal Engine 5, just in case you didn't know that. So here we go. We are in an orthographic mode right now, and what we're going to be doing is going into the edit mode, and we're going to start selecting some faces. So the first thing I'm going to be is in face mode, and people are going to be like, whoa, that's a lot of faces. Yeah, well, I like to have dense meshes with a significant level of subdivision so we don't get faceting, which saves time when you're post-processing. So select link flat faces, and we're going to expand this out just a little bit by adjusting this slightly. And there we go, that's good right there. That's too much. Let's go back to 3.4. Let's try that. Okay, yeah, that's good right there. So that's a good band of faces. I probably don't need quite that many, but this is just for demonstration purposes. So we'll go back into the side view. We're going to duplicate these, and we're going to then take them out of and separate them out so that they're on their own thing. Indy Speeder, welcome in. Glad you could join us. And the Slow Whipster, thank you for joining. Birdmans, welcome for joining. You have no idea how it would work, but an Italian Burgonet full helmet would look very cool. I'm going to have to look that up because I have absolutely no idea what that is, but it sounds interesting. So, okay, so now we've got our little piece that we just snipped off of here, and we're going to go into edit mode again. We're going to select everything, and we're going to move it down a certain distance. That's actually pretty close. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate it again. And we're going to copy it down here on the bottom. So now, what I want to do is, the red here is letting me know that this is the inside of the face. This is the other side of the normal. So if you know anything about geometry, geometry is made up of normals, surface normals, and we can kind of see what they look like by turning this thing on. So all these little blue lines are pointing out, and that's showing what direction the face is actually pointing. So, and you always want them facing towards the camera, because the red means if we tried to render it, it would just be invisible. There's like nothing there. So, hey, love your stuff. Oh, let's see. Alter Ego. Hey, Alter Ego. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Love the detail and thought you put into everything. I appreciate that. Yes, and it's nice to see the nice things that people have to say about what I do. I really appreciate it. And thank you for noticing. And welcome in. Glad you could make it. Let's see. Faiz Mood, am I saying that right? If I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Kylorian Decadiz. If I'm saying that wrong, forgive me. Welcome in. I'm glad you guys could make it. So we are talking about custom supports here. So now I've got these two pieces here. I need to get this going the other way, so I'm going to flip it real quick. And then I'm just going to go and do this. I'm going to select all these edges. Now these probably need to be cleaned up. I'm just doing this quick and dirty right now just to kind of real quickly demo how I do this. But like I said, I'm going to do a short tutorial video that gets into much more detail about what happens here. Okay, so that did not work correctly, so let's try this again. Let's just do one edge and turn off these normals because they're bugging me. Okay, why are they still on? What's going on here? Why are those still on like that? That should not be on. Oh, I've got all kinds of things happening here. Okay. I think first thing I'm going to do is just trim these ends off just a little bit. Yeah, so let's get rid of this one. And we're going to go clean up this guy. We'll just come in a few. These ones, because I'm doing them so quick, would probably not be completely viable as custom supports, because there is a method to this madness. There's a thought process behind it, which I'm not going to go into here, but basically, it does require some precision. That's not what I wanted to do. What just happened there? Okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, let's go to the other side and clean that up. So basically, I'm just trying to make the edges be a little more uniform so that when we connect everything together, it's not a hideous mess. Okay, you need to be going correctly. There we go, that's what we wanted. All right. Let's get rid of that guy, little guy right there. Now we'll duplicate this again. Okay, cool. That looks like it'll work. So let's see.
And then he's a good kid. He's doing.
So what is? Oh, you're adding a skin. Yeah. Are you actually trying to make supports, Sci-Fire, like individual supports? This is more like a model within a model, and I can tell you, but not here, how I figured this out. How I figured out this would work, and it's kind of a funny story. Oh, this needs to flip. Okay, but like I said, that's information that we will save for the tutorial video, which I can make pretty quick. If you guys are interested in that, I can definitely put that together very quickly. It will be very short, probably 15-20 minutes of just in-depth making of custom supports. Okay, why are those coming in like that? They should not be doing that. Let's try this. Let's just do one side at a time, because that seems to always work. So it figures I go and do this on a live stream and it decides to not work correctly. So let's try this again. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Okay, there we go. That's good. So there's one side that's working correctly. So it should be straight, not all interwoven like that. The reason why my topology is so dense is because I do multiple levels of subdivision before I export my STLs. And the reason that I do that is because I hate the way faceting looks. I know a lot of people use Simplify 3D, and I don't know if you can control the subdivision level when you're exporting, not Simplify 3D, but Fusion 360 is what I meant to say. I don't know if you can control the subdivision level in Fusion 360. I'm guessing that you can, but I'm not sure how it works. So anyway, let's do that. And now we are almost there. Usually I just click and it selects the whole loop around the model, but sometimes I get anomalies where it doesn't do that. Did I just cut that one off? Yes, I did. Okay. So you got to pay attention. Otherwise, it'll end up not having the right number of edges. The number of edges has to be the same top and bottom. Okay, there we go. So now there's our lower custom support. And I'm going to go ahead and run this tool just to make sure that everything's manifold. And then I'm going to go ahead and join it up with the model. And that's basically it. Now I would also be adding some custom supports in here that come down the side. And this would be strictly for FDM printing, okay? This hand plate I will normally print as a resin print, and the reason why is because of this detail here. I can get this to look good with FDM printing, but it's just never going to look as good with FDM as it does with resin. Resin just looks amazing. And now with the newer resins, they're definitely stronger. They can hold up to a lot more abuse. I've drop tested these hand plates several times and they don't break. So that's pretty cool. Oh, you did. That's right. You made a reel showing throwing these things around and seeing how they don't break. So that's basically, that's one custom support. I would do some more and then a couple of other things so that when you load it into your slicer, it's not going to be 50,000 pieces. But that's basically it. Let's see what kind of questions we've got. Question for you: do you use a tablet when you model? No, I don't. It is mouse and keyboard right now, and the reason for that is because I've just been doing it that way for such a long time that I'm used to it. And I tried to switch to a tablet, but I had a really hard time accessing my hotkeys. And part of the problem with that is because I'm left-handed. So it doesn't seem like it would be a problem, but I run the mouse with my right hand, which is just feels natural for me. But if I'm using a stylus with a tablet, it's going to be in my left hand, and that just screws me all up. I had the same problem with baseball. So anyway,
don't need it.
The ABS-like resins are insane. I haven't used those. I've been using the plant-based resins, and they've been working great.
Sending that reel.
So that's. I love the plant-based stuff because it's all water soluble. You don't have to use the isopropyl alcohol, which gets really expensive. Everything can be rinsed in water, and that is so nice. It makes cleanup so much easier. And these things are tough, especially Ministry of Resin is really, really tough. I mean, that stuff, you can flex it. It's amazing. So anyway... Blender is so much better than Fusion 360. I've never used Fusion 360, so I couldn't say, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, I've been a 3D modeler for quite a while now, and Blender took me a while to get used to, but when they got up to version 2.4, I think, that's when I started really getting into it, because it just seemed a little easier to use, but I love Blender. How's the smell?
There is no smell.
The smell of the resin. There virtually is none.
Yeah.
There is Ministry does have kind of a smell to it because I have a box full of reject parts that I keep because I hate throwing things away sometimes. I'm like, I can use that on something, so I'll keep it. But I have this box of Ministry parts, and I swear to God, I open it up and sometimes it smells like an ashtray. I don't know why, but it just does. But the Elegoo stuff that I mostly use, that doesn't have any smell at all. Blender took me about, once I decided I wanted to learn it, which was the key for me, it took me about 3 months, I think, to get comfortable with it. So, and that's because I was still working on projects that were in Lightwave. I came from Lightwave, which I would not recommend anybody using. It was a great program back in the day, but it's been so left behind by everything. Maya, Max, and now Blender. Filthy Poser, welcome in. Jax Frenchies, welcome in. Yeti GT and Honeymoon Forever, welcome in. And also Guibaima32, did I say that right? I hope I did. If I didn't, please forgive me. Kolya Galileo, welcome in. Dreco Blutsauger, welcome in. Dan CX, welcome in. Thanks for joining, guys. And Mr. Morgan and Crafty Contraptions, welcome in. Bryce Boywins, welcome in. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you all being here. I'm going to show off this amazing thing from Mandalorian one more time because it just blows my mind every time I see it. This is amazing. So this is going to be for my gauntlet, but I think I'm going to also adapt my rangefinder viewers so that this thing can fit inside. The wiring is not a problem. It would actually fit down the rangefinder stem, no problemo, and into the helmet, because right now it's running a 9-volt battery. It also has a USB port on it, which I'm guessing is for USB power. So let me get this back up into the frame so you can see it. And it even has my name on it in Arabesh. I'm just floored by this thing. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So we got a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up.
And what?
The tutorial.
Oh yeah. So if you guys want a tutorial on custom supports, an in-depth tutorial, doing something complicated like a helmet, DM me. So, and I will,
See how much response.
if I get a good enough response, then I'll go ahead and put one together. And if it's, kind of lackluster, then we'll figure something else out. But anyway, do you have or are there any plans for a Blender tutorial? Yes, as a matter of fact, Crafty Contraptions, I am planning a Blender tutorial. That's what I was just talking about. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Thanks for asking. So I know there's at least one person that's interested. So yeah, gonna do that. Let's see. Yeti GT. If it's only 2 wires, it's power only. Oh, for the the USB, right? Is it only 2 wires?
Whoa.
Yes, it's only 2 wires, so it is for power. Thank you for letting me know. I'm slowly learning about electronics, but I would rather leave it to the experts. I'm just so blown away by what Mandalorian created. It's just unbelievable. So anyway, do we have any more questions? Fusion 360 is more CAD focused. Yes. If you're already into CAD, then I'm guessing Fusion 360 would be, probably pretty easy to learn. I wasn't. I was a visual effects artist for a long time, so I was coming at it from that direction. As I said earlier, I used to use Lightwave. I did a lot of stuff for TV and a couple of things for movies.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I know. I hate auto-generated supports, and there isn't a slicer out there that makes them good. Okay, they just suck, and they chew up the surface that they connect to. Every time I use auto-generated supports, it looks like somebody was chewing on that part of the model when I take them off, and it's just horrible because it takes forever to clean up that area. The custom supports are a lot nicer because they do leave a nicer finish. That's a lot easier to deal with. Believe me, I've been putting them on all my models as I go along, and it's definitely helping out a lot. Jay Porcu, welcome in. Leon Paz 24, welcome in, and thanks for joining. And Poi.by, welcome in, and Sapurisaga, welcome in. Thanks for joining. So, and Greg Fleischman 7, thanks for joining, and Benji Dart, thanks for joining. So I'm getting ready to wrap it up, but let's see if there's any more questions. Super slicer supports are okay, but they suck badly during cleanup. Yeah, that's the problem. And I've used a couple of different slicers. My main slicer has been Simplify 3D. I'm slowly working on building my profiles in Prusa Slicer and then ultimately Super Slicer. It seems like Prusa Slicer is getting a little bit more love on the development side. So I'm moving into that one first, but they're so similar that I think I'll be able to jump over to Super Slicer really easy. To split apart. So you can take a model in Prusa Slicer and you can just split it. That's pretty cool. I know most of them, like if you have pieces that aren't actually physically connected together, that you can separate them out into parts, which is very cool. Steve G, or no, it's STG, Sergeant Eve, STG, welcome in. Cy Wilkerson, welcome in, and Treb Dralbook, welcome in. Appreciate you guys joining.
Rangefinder.
So, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Maybe I'll make one more custom support just for fun. We'll just do one more, and because a lot of you guys just showed up, so we'll let you see something. So, okay, so I've got my hand plate model here. I've got it in the position that I want it, and this is going to be, I only make these for FDM prints. So basically your standard filament and nozzle and all that stuff, not for resin prints. I do not do this for resin prints. Theoretically you could, but resin print supports are generally not a problem. So this was basically done to deal with the horrible support mess that you get when you do supports for regular 3D printing. So I'm just going to select some faces, and I'm not doing this super precise right now. I'm just trying to basically show kind of what I do. So I'm in edit mode on Blender, by the way. Edit mode is where you can actually modify the actual geometry directly without using a modifier. So I'm just going down here. I'm going to select a decent width. I don't know exactly how wide this support is. I'm guessing it's probably a significant percentage of a millimeter, maybe even 2, which is fine. They don't have to be super big. So let's just see if we can just get the rest of these. And that's looking pretty good. Oh, I've got one hole here. So I'm going to separate this out. I'm going to duplicate it first, and then I'm going to separate it so I can bring it in to its own little space and work on it further. And select everything and move it away from the model a specific distance. And let's drop this down just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate it again. And we're going to drop this section down. Okay, yeah, this is pretty skinny, but this is, like I said, this is just for demo purposes. This is way skinnier than it should be. I probably should have maybe selected like 6 or 7 rows of faces. But like I said, for demo purposes, this is fine. So I'm going to get this done real quick here, and then we're going to wrap it up. So we're going to select these edges. That one a lot better than the last one. And there we go. And that's basically it. So before I bring this back into the main model, I'm going to just make sure it doesn't have any doubled vertices or flipped faces or anything like that. So let's go back into object mode and we'll join everything together. Now we've got another custom support. So that's basically real quick and dirty how I do it. If you want a detailed explanation of all the things that are associated with custom supports, hit me up in my DMs and we'll get a tutorial together for you. All right? So anyway, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, and I want to thank everybody for joining. If I didn't say hello to you, I'm sorry, but I appreciate you guys coming on. I will do another live stream here shortly. I'm going to start doing a lot more Blender streams because I've got a lot of stuff happening in Blender right now and I want to show it off. So we'll be doing some more Blender streams, and we'll do them a little bit longer. Today was just a very quick thing. Yeah, I want to do YouTube stuff because Instagram right now is so limited with this, wonderful doorway format, which I just totally don't understand. But we'll do some YouTube stuff, and we'll be able to bring Blender directly up on the monitor so we can see everything a lot more clearly. I'll also have my hotkey thing turned on so you can see what my keys are that I'm using, and I'll be, of course, available to answer questions so we can talk about the specifics of whatever it is I'm doing. So I'm guessing you're doing like 0.23. I could be, I don't know, but we'll see. That's all going to be information that's going to be in my tutorial. So stay tuned for that. DM me if you want to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So thanks again for everybody joining, and we'll see you next time. Take care.